Welcome back to Master Your Ash. I'm your host, Michael Frisdale, and today we're here with Powstanie.
Yeah, hey, nicely done.
Hey, did I do it right?
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you before we started, but I want to double check.
You winged it, man. Good job.
That means that the review is going to be a lot easier for me to edit this upcoming week, is what that means. Because I did a couple of ones, and I was like, where does that name, where's the origin? Mike, thank you so much once again for,
Thanks for having me.
giving me some time.
Yeah.
Cool. Where does the name, where's the origin?
So Powstanie is actually Polish. We're Polish guys. My last name is 15 letters, not a lot of vowels.
Yeah.
So we wanted to lean towards, our heritage to some degree. A lot of people in the industry will say that they're related from Davidoff or they're Cuban or something, and they could be full of it, or, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But we believe in kind of embracing who we are.
Sure.
The P logo is actually Polish revolutionaries from World War II.
And so obviously have the flag accents to the colors.
Yeah, our first two blends, the broadleaf and the Habano, had the flag on it. Our newest release is the Connecticut, and we did black with the gold, just to kind of make it pop. I mean, we kind of, as we're progressing, I can see that the Powstanie logo will always be a part of it, but I like to play with different things, man. I like to be innovative and creative. I don't want to be just stuck with the same format on the flags. I've said it, here we are, now we're moving forward.
Talk to me about the Justice. Obviously, that's the newest in the lineup, and the black and gold, it's a beautiful band.
Thank you so much, man. So this cigar I actually created about 10 years ago, and it didn't come to fruition. At the time, I made 100 sticks, and my wife was pregnant, and everybody was telling her that she was gonna have a girl. So I said, well, if it's a boy, I get to name him. If it's a girl, you get to name. Mm-hmm. So Apollo was the name that I stuck with, and Danny was the name for the girl. So we made 100 bands of cigars that said Apollo, Danny, and they were blue and pink.
Right.
And they were fantastic, right? I love the blend. I made this Pennsylvania broadleaf binder to accent and offset the Ecuadorian Connecticut cigar and really give them more body than your average Connecticut.
Sure.
Well, fast forward, we have a boy, and we agreed on Justice. Justice is a good name, so we had our back and forth, and it was weird. We were hanging out at a friend's house, and it was somebody's bridal party, and it said Justice and so and so. I'm like, that's a great name.
Yeah. So
when the cigars finally came to fruition, I wanted to honor him with a Corona Gorda that I blended it, and I put his name on the mat.
It's dope.
Yeah. What's even funnier is when I showed him the first time, he did not care.
Right, of course.
I'm like, check this out. He's like, cool, and then he just kind of scooted away. And then I made a couple of Instagram reels and some videos and stuff showing him. And then now all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, especially because he's very competitive against his older brothers. So.
Appreciate the note, the letter and everything to kind of explain. I think I made the parallel between this was probably it's a boy, it's a girl kind of name association.
Right.
From what I read in the letter about the backstory on it. And I think that some of the reviews that have come out so far, because I think that you do a great job of kind of making sure that the product is in the hands of the people that are going to help kind of spread the word, the gospel. And that's really what we try to do the very most, especially with my channel. The way that I kind of, and I know that we only have one conversation before this, but the way that I kind of try to differentiate myself, but also be included in the cigar media space is my background is primarily professionally in spirits, cocktails, and pairings.
There you go.
I try to associate that with everything. I believe, and I'll know when I edit it, but I believe that we paired a really nice thing with the Justice. There's a lot of complexity to it from what I remember smoking it just a couple of days ago, and it is unlike, I believe I said this in the video, any Connecticut that I have had, any shade wrapper in a long time.
Well, that's what I was going for, so I appreciate that.
100%.
I'm a big believer in really looking at data and kind of mastering your craft, right? So I've done this for 10 years at this point, and you make mistakes every year, so I always try and get better at that. And I think that somewhere along the line, you learn to acknowledge the guys that are working their butts off in media and kind of promoting and building things. We really need to do a better job of acknowledging you guys. So I dug in deep, and I was trying to figure all of it out. Every year try and get better,
100%, man. Absolutely. What I noticed, I believe it's SBC.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell me a little bit about 2023 with this?
So that comes out every 2 years, and it's called Surrounded by Champions. So we work close with the Nica Sueño factory, the owners of Roma Craft.
Sure.
And I believe in acknowledging everybody. You know, it's not, at the end of the day, I can't pick the tobacco. I'm not qualified for it. Now, I have my concepts in my mind of what I think would be a great cigar. But if I'm not working with a factory that hasn't done all that hard work, I have nothing, right? I'm just another guy that says, hey, let's make a cigar. So acknowledging them for being able to acquire those things, the fermentation process, you know, the pre-industry, the rollers, the bands, the creativity. I mean, there are things that Skip alone has taken me along a different route as far as what my vision should look like and, you know, what I'm trying to build. So it's important to acknowledge the people that help me create stuff. And this last blend, Skip actually made. It's the first one that we didn't do. He blended it. And, of course, it gets a tremendous amount of notoriety, those whole things.
What do you like to drink when you're smoking a cigar? And it doesn't have to be alcohol. It can be anything, like Diet Coke, Dr. Pepper, whatever it is.
So I generally drink, as boring as it sounds, a lot of water. And what I do is Mio with with the fruit punch is really a go-to for me to kind of offset things.
That's awesome.
So that's really the route that I go at this point.
One of our guys in Japan, he's an advocate of pairing cranberry juice.
Really?
He loves the bitter, sweet.
I could see that.
Getting in with the cigar. Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. That definitely offsets, right? And I would assume that's what you do when you really try and pair, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to enhance, trying to offset.
Right. Fantastic.
Always, man. Well, I appreciate you squaring away a couple of minutes for me.
Yeah.
Showcasing the brand for the audience. Looking forward. The Justice, my review is going to be out next week at the very latest, but yeah, these are available now.
Yep. Well, Justice will be released April 5th. So what I like to do is an exclusive at a specific retail shop.
Gotcha.
So I'll release it to them and then I'll distribute it nationwide. So
which shop did this go out to this year?
It's going to be a Boll Weevil in Enterprise, Alabama.
Okay.
Now there was one shop that got a couple boxes prior to.
Sure.
Like there was just a miscommunication and they got them. But as far as the whole allocation, Boll Weevil will have it first.
Awesome. Thanks again, Mike.
Thanks so much for having me, brother. I appreciate you.
It's our third show, and we're very excited because we're launching a project that's really near and dear to Sarah and I. Because at the end of the day, when Sarah came to me and said, Dad, everybody hears your stories, know your stories great, and I'm sharing my stories. I think it's time for us to turn the camera around and give the voice back to the fan base of your line, to talk to you about what is your story, what is your circle of life about cigars. Sure. And so our driving force this year for Sarah doing events is not her and me doing question and answer, it's about you telling your story. So we're going to set up a mic in the camera, and it's got an open mic night. And we want to say, okay, talk your favorite cigar, your favorite story of who you started with, who's their favorite person you ever smoked a cigar with. Those are interesting stories. All our stories are about tobacco and cigars. Why not your story? You have a story, you're interesting.
Sure.
And so if we can do that and launch that globally, so everybody connected this little family of cigars. And I have a story, yes, and we want to hear that story.
Awesome. Sounds wonderful. What is the new addition going to come in as far as sizing and blend?
So we're going to do three sizes, the Robusto, the Toro, and the 6x60. Blend-wise, we're not sharing that information right now.
Undisclosed.
Why? Because we want you to go in there blind and not prejudge it. Sometimes when I'm talking to me, oh, I don't like the tobacco. Well, you don't like it that way. Let me try it this way. And so if we can keep that a secret for about a month, if you go online, you can find it. You can find it. But I would say to you, don't do it. Go judge the cigar and maybe realize, oh, I didn't like that tobacco. No, you didn't like that manufacturer kind of story of the tobacco. You like this. So it's out there for everybody, but right now we're not sharing it out loud.
I usually wait. If the chef decides to tell me what's in it, then that's fine. If not, I'll figure it out at some point. It's all good.
Yeah.
Recently, about maybe a month or two ago, I smoked my first addict.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
That was an interesting experience. I enjoyed it. I thought that the journey was fun. It reminded me a lot of some of the traditional journeys that you've taken me on throughout, and I look forward to smoking the Circle of Life. I think that it'll be a nice, like, fun new way to experience, you know, where West Tampa's moving.
Yeah.
So what you do is we want to work with people that we can get difference. Working with Joe Cigar, I realized what they do in the DR is not what they do in Nicaragua or in Honduras. So it taught me, if I'm going to do my own thing, I love my company that makes red, white, black. Love them to death, but he can only give me that flavor of his factory. Let's go. I want to own a McDonald's, a Burger King, and a Wendy's. So the same thing, beef patty and bun, but the processing, it makes it different. So if we can go to another factory, you smoke the cigar like Circle, this doesn't taste anything like your Colroy. Thank you. That's what we want to do.
I love it. Love it. What, Sarah? Being that you've elected yourself, I'm sure, to this Blitz campaign. How's your travel schedule? How are you looking for the rest of the year? A lot.
Very every weekend, but that's
It was Ricky on the street. Now it's gonna be Sarah on the street.
But he's already itching to get on the road. He's like, will you make an event for me? I'm bored. I'm like, no, I am here now. So yeah, we're excited. And I think like transitioning me into the events, and it's going to be perfect with the Circle of Life, because it won't be, these events are not going to be Rick events anymore. It's going to be West Tampa events. And then it's now I'm connecting with the customers there and everything and sharing that story. So it's not as important to have him around anymore. Not that
you're being phased out right now.
And then even for reps to be able to do their own events too, because it's about people who are coming to the events, not the person who's throwing the event anymore. So my goal is to really start opening that up and be the interviewer like you are to the people.
I try to make it inclusive for the audience, you know, so that
It's hard. It really is.
It is, but it's also like, you know, they're the only reason why I'm here doing it, right? Besides, I would be here doing it, but it would be without a camera, and it would just be a conversation, right, about my appreciation for all the things that you do and all the things that you continue to bring to the whole entire community.
We wouldn't have cigars if it weren't for the people
Yeah,
smoking them.
no, 100%. So that's awesome. I'm so looking forward to all the continued success. Thank you guys so much for reaching out and making sure that we got something together for the event today.
Absolutely.
Well, if I can, just try it. Yeah. Be your own judge. We hope that you enjoy the cigar. Like I said, there's 3 sizes. We're Muso, Toro, 6x60. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to smoke it, enjoy it, and buy it again.
Thank you very much,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Good to see you again. Thank you guys very much. Check out West Tampa. We got a lot of great stuff with Circle of Life coming out.